Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation, and we're going to discuss 5 mistakes that harm your marriage. Welcome back. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. What are these 5 mistakes that harm your marriage? Now, I don't do bait and switch, and I'm not setting you up, but I'm telling you each one of these are important. So listen to the end. And I give a lot of filler because I don't want to just tell you, don't do that, and hit your hand with a ruler and say, don't do this, don't do that. I used to be a divorce mediator, and I got converted when a couple, this was in 2001, over 25 years ago, and a couple asked me to help them save their marriage, and I, what the heck, their marriage is shot anyway, can't hurt it. The couples counselor sent them to me for a divorce. So I did what any person would do who has no background in marriage counseling, is I started looking at, well, why do people get married in the first place? What do they really what's missing here? What do they want? What can we give them? And because I had the perspective as a divorce mediator, I knew already a lot of things that damaged marriage. And that's what we're going to talk about now. But I'm also going to give you, you might call it, the other side. And number one, I created teachings, by the way. And I have 2 books, and we have an online course, a 12-week course. Everything's affordable. But I identified 3 killers of marriage. And to show you how benevolent I am, I'm going to give you the very first killer right off the bat. So number 1 is taking your husband or your wife for granted. That's like the biggest mistake we all make, and we all make it. And we even make it when we know better, which is why there's a lot of teachings that go around. You could call them don't do's. But if you understand this and understand why, it'll give you more context. So I actually call it overfamiliarity. That's the number 1 killer of marriage. And you could liken it to how you treat your siblings, your parents, cousins, your friends. You're used to them. And so you expect things of them, but ironically, very few of us expect things of ourselves in how we are with them. Now, there's certain things like loyalty that everyone expects, and we do our best to be loyal and truthful. But living with someone day to day really changes the dynamic, because what happens is we start seeing their bad parts, and they stand out to us much more than their good parts. And how I used to illustrate this with for 8 years I met with people individually. And I had a big 4x8 whiteboard. I was definitely not a marriage counselor in the true sense. In fact, I thought of myself as an educator more than a marriage counselor. And so I had a big 4x8 whiteboard, and I would take my dry erase marker and I would put 7 or 8 black marks on my whiteboard. And then I would say, and I would do it randomly, but I made it look like I was intentional, just to be a little sneaky. And I said, what do you see? Not one person in 8 years, and I met with hundreds of people, I can't tell you how many, not one person said to me, well, I see a field of white with 8 marks on it. everyone said, I see 8 black marks. It's our nature as human beings, and I get into a big explanation in both the books and the course. We are driven by our psychophysiology, meaning we're souls. I bet you've never heard this before. We don't have a soul, we are souls. We are souls. What we have is a mind and we have a body. And this mind-body is psycho, mind, physiology, body. And the body is a compilation of trillions of cells. And what do we know about cells? Every cell is endowed with the drive for self-preservation, isn't it? Every single cell. You put them together, you put a bunch of cells together, you might have a mosquito. It lives to be, I hate mosquitoes. And a mosquito will sneak up on you and nail you. But if you see that mosquito, he's going to know, and he's going to hide or get out of your reach. Self-preservation. The drive for self-preservation. It's not an intelligent mosquito. He's not going to go to Harvard. But self-preservation, with his limited intelligence, makes him a dangerous adversary. Well, same thing with plants. Drive to survive. Same thing with us. The mind is told by the body, you better protect me. And the mind, which is much more intelligent than the mosquito, is very calculating, not in a negative way. It's just very calculating. It's able to predict. It's predictive. It filters. It does all sorts of things. But it's always looking for the trouble. Always looking for the trouble. And so we get to know somebody and we're seeing their flaws. And we're protective of ourselves. And we start taking them for granted. And instead of looking at ourselves as what did we do, we look at what did they do to us. You see, protective. Defensive, if you will. I don't like that word so much. Protective is adequate. And so it erodes the connection that we have. Marriage means union. It's not a union of minds. It's a union of hearts, souls. You are with your soulmate. So a big mistake is to stop seeing your soulmate as your queen or as your king, and we start seeing them as our adversary, as danger, and we allow our mind to interfere with our love. That's mistake number one. Okay, number two, this is a biggie, especially for men, but that doesn't mean women don't have this problem too. They do. A lot of the women who take our online course, because if you have this problem, you need the online course. This is a problem that I had in big time in the 90s, and until, and I'm going to say it out loud, until God gifted me with the SO technique, which I teach, I couldn't conquer it, and that is anger. And anger is a very interesting thing. I used to objectivize anger because I knew it wasn't me, and it isn't you, but it certainly upsets the apple cart of marriage. Now, when I say objectivize, I'm going to give you a great personal example because there's certain things, for illustration purposes, I call them demons. But this is not a cult, and I'm not trying to suggest that. But I had a problem many, many years ago. It was a legal problem. and I had to appear in court the next day, and I couldn't get a lawyer in time, and what I was facing was huge, and I was pacing. And my wife came home, and she just ignored me. I was pacing, and I said, okay, I got to get some sleep. And I lay down in my bed, and I couldn't sleep. I was just worried to death. And finally the thought came to me, you know what, if I don't stop worrying, I don't have to worry about what's happening in court because I'm not going to make it through the night. And so I decided, next thought I have of worry, I'm going to banish it. This is very instructive, what I'm sharing with you now. And we use this technique in the course too. So every time I had a worry thought about the next day, I just pushed it out of my mind and pushed it out of my mind. And the thoughts in the beginning were this far apart, and then they were getting further and further apart until I wasn't feeling my heart pounding anymore. And then all of a sudden, I was worried about something else. And I went, wow, this is like evil or something. And I said out loud, I got you, worry. And I saw literally this black thing, scared the heck out of me, rose out of my chest and drove off. I don't worry about things anymore. Caught it. Anger is the same. It comes in and owns you. Get rid of it. It's such a disruptor. It's scary. Anger is meant to be scary. It's meant to scare your adversary. But your wife, your husband, they're not your adversary. Even if you cannot contain the anger, even if you cannot banish the anger, and by the way, I teach people how to eliminate anger, not control it, not manage it, eliminate anger. Even if you're not able to do that, don't let it out. Don't let it out. Because you got married to express love, devotion, and caring. Anger ain't that. Okay, number 3. We're going to cool down a little bit. Number 3, which is a big mistake that is encouraged in the world out of stupidity and ignorance. Don't talk about your marriage. Don't talk about your wife. Don't talk about your husband with anyone ever. Now, obviously, that's if your husband is beating the crap out of you and you're going to work with a black eye, we're not talking about that. Talk to the authorities. You can't live that way. It's bad for you. It's bad for your children. But aside from that, your marriage, I call it the sacred space of marriage. It's a holy domain that the two of you occupy. And just because you've made mistakes, just because you don't understand marriage, there are many problems going on. But when you learn how to be married, those problems will disappear. Good analogy would be like trying to drive your car on the lake. It is not going to work. And as soon as you learn how to drive that car on a nice, smooth highway, everything is fine. You got to learn about marriage. You got to understand marriage. You got to understand yourself, your spouse, marriage, love. There's so many facets to marriage. And we're not taught any of it. So it's not your fault. But don't make the mistake of talking about your marriage. Keep your marriage sacred. Don't bottle up your problems. Don't talk about your problems. Work through what you have to work through and learn how to work through it and learn how to transcend the problems. Everyone has problems, Problems are ubiquitous. Problems are a gift to us. They're challenges that we meet to learn how to change ourselves, to become stronger, to become more compassionate, more understanding, more loving. That's what problems are for. We can solve them. It's easy enough to solve them in a practical way, but that's not the reason for the problems. The problems are for us to learn how to be more loving human beings. Number 4. I'm throwing this one in. Number 5 is really good. But number 4, this is important for most of you because you have children. And you have to remember, if you're a woman, you think like a woman, you feel like a woman, you're a woman. If you're a man, you think like a man, you are a man, you operate like a man. Your approach to raising your children are different. So, they say, oh, be supportive of your husband or your wife, with the kids and blah, blah, blah. Talk it over. You don't have to talk it over. The man is the man. He loves the kids with all of his heart, mind, and soul. The woman has a different approach to her kids. She gets mad at them and she expects things from them. But she's a woman. She sees them differently. A man and a woman don't see their children the same. They don't feel the same obligations towards them. They don't deal with them the same way. Step back. Don't take the side of your children. That's the big message against your spouse. Now, occasionally, mom might say, okay, we're going to, with her daughter, okay, we're going to get this little dress for you. It's so cute. Don't tell your dad. That's okay. We're not talking about that. Or, dad will take his son out and they'll do something really stupid and he'll say, okay, don't tell your mom. It's okay. That stuff is okay. I'm talking about if there's a struggle, one of you will have a stronger position about it. The other, okay, just enjoy the show. Never take the side. This is more for your kids, but it's also for your marriage. Because by doing it the way I'm suggesting, you're showing respect, consideration, and love, and trust. Okay, enough of that. Number 5, and this is a big one. And men will go, oh yeah. And women will go, oh yeah. And on both sides, this has 4 sides to it. Never hold back intimacy. Now, intimacy does not mean sex. Although sex should be intimate, and if it's not, you're totally missing out. Intimacy means connecting the souls. It means living in the joy and love of that soul connection. That's intimacy. It doesn't mean dumping your emotions all over each other. It doesn't mean groping. It doesn't mean clawing. It doesn't mean wearing sexy clothes or putting on smelly perfume or cologne. That's not intimacy. Those are cute. When I was a kid, they used to put raccoon tails on the antenna of the car. They don't even have antennas on cars anymore. It didn't make the car run better. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Intimacy is making sure that you put in the highest octane gas you can so the engine's running smoothly. The highest octane is the highest degree of love. It's the expression of love. Never hold back. expressing love. I don't care how you're feeling. I don't care that it's been a hard day. I don't care that your kids have been tormenting you. I don't care that you just got fired. Never hold back intimacy. Period. Period. Okay. That's as lectury as I get. So I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. I'm so glad you came by. We're here to help you. Reach out to us. We'll reach out to you. Thank you. God bless you and take care.